monastery about 300 years ago. And that's why all of a sudden there she was, and here I am, and here we are. Come on now.
Thank you, Spookums. So lovely. I want to start today on a kind of an honest and raw note, and a note of gratitude to be here with you all. I have no facades today to hide behind. Today marks the anniversary of the passing of somebody really, really dear to me. And when I agreed to come up this Sunday, I forgot about the anniversary that was taking place today. So, but it's on par for the season. It's on par for the time of the year because we're in Virgo season, and Mercury is still trudging forward back out of his shadow in Leo, representing Virgo and giving us a message to be raw, roar. Let our sadness, our rage, our joy, let it out. Let it be seen for all to know. We are about to move into the last time, at least in our lifetime, that we'll have Saturn in Pisces. Saturn moves back into Pisces, I think on the 1st of September. And this is a call to pay attention to your grief, and to nurture it and to love it. And whatever you're grieving for, it's in your lymphatic system, it's in your body, it's in your blood, and it's in the story that you continue to tell to yourself and tell to others. And I want to urge you to find a new way to tell your story. I would like to encourage you to find a way to compost what you're bringing to this moment and find a way to resurrect the phoenix in your own way from the ashes of whatever you're composting. It's a tough time for the world. It's a time of crisis, but we know through just studying language, crisis is also an opportunity. So we're on the verge, we're on the precipice. We've got 1 foot solid in the past, and that's important to be able to look back at where we've come from, and yet our vision is faced toward the future. But Saturn is the ruler of this realm, the ruler of time and space, right? And part of what I want to talk about tonight is what is time and what is space, and how do we take that back? This is also a call to the Atom Center. As we enter Virgo season, as individuals, we're all going to emerge differently. Virgo season this year is also eclipse season. So this is when the not overshadowing, but the eclipsing of leadership. So something is leaving and something is coming in. And there's a mother and there's a father, there's the sun and there's the moon involved. So it's, we can all find ourselves in that story of the male or the female. And Adam has just moved location, right? We just got to go through all of the boxes of things and memories and books and all that was seeded and planted for Adam. And in this Virgo season, I would like to encourage you to continue to compost and find a new way of expressing this amazing community. I would really like to pump the tires of anybody that wants to get involved with putting Adam on the World Wide Web for all to access. this is a great community here, but there's an online community that is starving and needing what is offered here. And I don't see any youth in the audience. I don't see any, and honestly, I was here, when was it? March, when I was here last, for the full moon or new moon drum ceremony, and it was awesome. I found myself in the room with the fireplace, and there was a couple that came in with their son, and they were actually asked to leave because he was not allowed to be there because he was too rambunctious. And it really, I just would like to say, like, we gotta find a place for the youth here. They have to be welcome, and so families need to be welcome. Parents with children need to be welcome. The youth need to be heard. They need to have a place here, not just in the audience, but a place to teach. The youth are our future, and we're entering the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius is the voice of the young. It's the underserved. There's so many broken mothers, broken fathers, broken families. We're not doing any good to the community unless we are serving the underserved. And to me, that's children and families. So I want to encourage you at this moment, as we're entering Virgo season, and we're in a mutable time of manifesting new things, and recycling what needs to go, using the lessons we've learned, and extracting what is practical and simple and useful, and what is of service to our community. So on that note, I just think the world of everybody here and Adam, what I have experienced just in understanding what Mary started and Adam has continued. I'm just like, good job everybody, because it takes everybody involved. So I'm jumping around here, I know. I'm just really raw today. I lost my niece a year ago. She took her life. I was raised in an Episcopal family, and to the extent that they were to the extent that they were believers in the Word, they were more religious in the alcohol that they drank every day. And they raised, my whole family has been raised thinking that that's what we do together as a family. And my father was diagnosed with cancer 4 years ago, and I have a long story with that word, with cancer. Went to the School of Hard Knocks with my son, with the whole cancer topic, and I know the truth about it. I'll just say that much. So when my father was diagnosed with cancer, I went down to see him. I took natural remedies and things that I knew to be helpful, and I was asked to politely step aside, that we were going to follow what the doctor ordered. The doctor also drank alcohol and told my father, as long as you don't drink more than your doctor, you're good to go. And I had about 6 beers a day, so as long as you don't drink more than me, you're good to go. Well, my dad was like, okay, I'll just keep drinking. So he did, and my mom sent everything that I took down to Colorado back for Christmas. And I confronted my mother as well about the drinking and about just how our family, the environment is one and the same with alcoholism, and I don't want to do that anymore, and I don't want to bring my children into that. And then I was starting to get a different picture of the Bible and religion itself, because meanwhile I was studying astrology, and came to understand that the original name for the Bible was Biblios Heliotech, which is the story of the sun. So this all plays into my niece passing, because I got her into astrology and tarot, and tried to get her a different kind of a toolkit to manage being in a, and this is not being mean to my family, but they're muggles. They are magical, but they have forgotten their magic. And the only way that my niece could stay with the family was to do what they did and keep drinking. And then she would go to rehab. And then she would get out of rehab and have all this debt and nowhere to go and go back with the family and start drinking again. Everyone was like, well, she should be able to be fine. Nobody understood, like, it's a chemical dependency. It's not a character flaw, a personality disorder. So things happened, and my niece had to become a court-ordained under the guardianship of my sister, and we were not allowed to talk to each other. My sister got really controlling about the communication, and so we couldn't talk anymore. My niece knew that my sister was checking the phone, and so she's like, I don't want to say anything because it's just going to get you in trouble. It's going to get me in trouble. She took her life a year ago today, and I'm not allowed. I was not allowed to be a part of anything with her. I was told last minute about her memorial down in Colorado, which I traveled to without hesitation. Sat in the back by myself, and my family has cut me off. So I am standing here today after a year of like, ooh, I don't know what to do now. I don't want to offend my family. I don't want to offend my mother. I love my mother. I respect her in so many ways. But I'm not going to hide anymore. I know that what I gave my niece was the truth. I know what I speak here is the truth. I know when I've sat down with each one of you, I have given you the truth. And you may see me kind of coming out more. I've been hiding. I've been scared. I've been afraid of their rejection, and I've been talking through this with friends, and it's like, what else can they take away at this point? None of them are talking to me. I'm not invited to family functions. And now I'm like, why does this bother me so much? I guess it's because it's just been my whole life, and it's culminating in this situation. But I could sit down with any one of them and have a conversation about the Bible and have a meaningful conversation. But they would not do that with me because I'm looking at it symbolically. I'm looking at the story. I'm not looking at the characters and the names and studying them and memorizing them like they are. And so this ties in with my talk because I want you to understand yourselves as a story that is unfolding, as a complex and gorgeous and melodic bloom and blossom, lotus flower. And it requires the swamp. The phoenix cannot rise without the ashes and the fire that burns, that makes that phoenix rise, right? So don't be scared of those things in life. Don't be scared of the icky parts of your story, because that's actually what gives your lotus the impetus to expand and grow. And I find no other map of life, of time, and shape and form than the natal chart. I just think it's poetry and design. It's you're looking at the eye of God. You're looking at the moment somebody plopped into this kind of hell realm, this very, very dense, complicated realm. And we talk about all the time when we look at someone's eyes, they're the window to the soul. So why would the birth chart be any different than that? You're looking at the window to somebody's soul. You're looking at your own soul, the design of your own soul. And it's precious. And there's nothing like it. There's nobody like you. You could be born right next to somebody else in another hospital room and their chart would look different than yours. You are different not because of time or matter. You are different because you are infinity. You are timeless. And death is an illusion. And religion has really painted such a permanent picture of death that we all think that it's coming for us. Astrology and all sorts of other methods of study were applied to help the soul be free from time and space. And originally, that's where the Bible started, was to teach about the story of the sun and all the archons and the Orion Wars. That's all in the Bible. It's all there. It's all there. It's just symbolically hidden under so many layers. And where you start is studying you, not the word, not the world. You study you first. You start with you first. So, I want to pose a question on that note. Who can tell me who rules time?
The ego? We do.
Bingo. Bingo. Yes. Okay. We rule time. Yes. Correct. Thank you. Beautiful. Done. No, just kidding. We've been given a structure to measure time. We have the calendar, right? We have the days of the week. We have the clock. Well, who structures those things for us? Who publishes the calendar? Who governs time?
Pope Gregory?
Ah, but does he really?
No.
Right? Yes, and I know what you're talking about there, Gregorian calendar. Yes. Well, I want to tell you that you can take time back, and you don't even need your own natal chart. I just want you to understand, well, everything's happening in the world, and there's this party and that party, and all these dichotomies to play in. I want to encourage you to find yourself in the middle and take the middle way always. If you are finding yourself in on one side or another, understand you need to adjust a little bit and get back into the middle. Because if you look at a wheel and how a wheel spins, if matter or any energy collects on one side, go, it's not going to spin. It's not going to whirl. So stay in the center of your wheel. If you've ever looked at your natal chart, you want to stay right in the middle where we can see everything. If we're on one spectrum or another, we're not getting the whole picture. We're getting like half of the picture, just in the geometry of a circle. But in the Bible, in Job, in Amos, and all over the place in the New Testament, or Old Testament, sorry, the number 7 is mentioned 360 times. In the Old Testament and the New Testament, 360 times. What does 360 give us?
Almost a year.
A circle.
A circle. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, also there are, 7 stars in the Pleiades. And I think Pleiades is known as, they're the stars of Atlas, the 7 stars of Atlas, because they represent where the Abdullah Oblongata separates from the brain. And that's where, if you are living more of a carnal existence, your soul goes out that place. If you are living more of a spiritual existence, your soul stays here. Okay, also with the 7, we have the 7 archons, the 7 planets, 7 days of the week. We have 7 oceans, 7 continents. The number 7 is, yes?
7 seals.
7 seals,
Yeah.
7 trumpets, 7 angels, I have a list of 7s going, and a list of 12s going, a list of 5s, because everything's 5, 7, and 12. Well, there's others too. But as far as how matter comes into the 12s, it comes through 7s and 5s. So we have the 7 days of the week, and there's nothing coincidental about that. And if you look at other languages, they're synonymous. It's they're talking about the 7 archons. So, like, French was my first language, so I always remember lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, samedi, dimanche. And that's different names for the archons in a different language. But the same names of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday is obviously sun, the sun day. Monday is luni, it's the luna, it's moon, the moon day. Tuesday, so I always think of the French because Marty gives us Mars. Tuesday is Mars, ruled by Mars. Wednesday is ruled by Mercury. Thursday is ruled by Thor or Jupiter. Friday, Freya or Venus. Saturday is ruled by Saturn. Okay, so I think it was back in Caesar's day that they started to change the calendar because the Egyptians were the ones that actually counted out, down to the second, what the hours and the seconds, and they counted time, and they counted it with the stars. So the original name of Hor comes from one who watched the eye of Horus, was the eye on the horizon. So the Hors were watching the hour. They were Horuses. They were whores. The first whores were women that kept watch of the time of the sun. And to the second, they had characters. They had stories for every single measurement of time. And if you know the word medicine, it means measurement. It's not talking about the body. It's not talking about anatomy, physiology. It's measurement. Everything comes down to measurement because this is a Saturn-ruled world. Until you start to take the measurements back yourself, then it's measured for you. The time, the days, the calendar, the holidays, and the days on which they fall. So the actual calendar is, it comes from Rome. We're given our calendar that we follow from Rome. And they start with Good Friday. They structure the entire year around Christ's last meal. Not his death, not his birth, his last meal. Isn't that interesting? On Good Friday, which Venus is also called Lucifer, the light bringer. And Good Friday is when Christ purportedly had his last meal. Just interesting pieces to connect here, okay? But we get our whole calendar year based on this old story of a man having a last meal before being crucified. So I want to also just bring in that, like, when the world of the goddess was done away with, the first book that was ever written was the Bible, and the first thing that was written were the commandments. The very first commandment was love no other God before me, or I can't have any other God, just one. The next one is make no images. Make no images. That comes like 4 before killing somebody. You can't make a freaking image. You can't have something that represents something, because that would get you out of the left brain and into your right brain, where you can see the story and you can connect the pieces. So they made the story about a character to get us out of the whole story of just thinking about how things change through the year, through the day, as Don was saying, we're new every single day. I always think of I love, it's in a lot of rock band songs that all you gotta do is just come to terms and make a new way. And you don't have to like revolutionize your entire life. You start with one day that you're like, I'm gonna do things differently. I'm gonna start differently. Well, I'm telling you that the calendar has been given to you to organize for you your time, your space, your thoughts. And I would like to encourage you to take it back. To understand that on a Sunday, on a day like this that we're gathering, this is the day to shine, to wear sun colors, or wear jewelry that is gold, something that is eminent, of the golden light. And Sunday is a day of joy and not toil and working and getting ready to go back to school, but rest and togetherness and celebration, culminating the week and what we've harvested and making a beautiful meal out of it, talking about what we've done for the week, what we're looking forward to, getting ready, resting our bodies for the week ahead. Because Monday is a moon day. This is not the day that we should be scheduling meetings and running to appointments and go. Monday is the day of the moon, it's the body. So if nothing else, take back a little bit of moon days for yourself, to not go anymore. Help your children to understand and raise their children to understand that moon days are a day of the moon. It's a time to nurture and care for ourselves and have boundaries around what we can and can't do, what we are going to allow into our time and not. It's also not, like a lot of people will wear a lot of crazy colors, loud colors on Monday. You want to wear more like dark or silver or more moon, ethereal kind of colors, and play it low. Like, you can still go to a concert, you can still do fun stuff, but just make it like, this is the day that I nurture myself. Not with doctor's appointments, like that would be like, this would be more like a spa, or get a massage, or rub your own feet. Have a date with your feet and your hands, and rub them. Do a good job on that. Tuesday is ruled by Mars. So this is the day we want to plan meetings. We want to go get stuff done. We want to go to the grocery store. We want to maybe not plan communication so much, because that's more Wednesday, Mercury day. But this is the day to get stuff done, or to choose. When you're like, Sunday, Monday, I got to make a choice. I don't really know. You nurture on Mondays, and then on Tuesday you decide. You let the decision come. But you give yourself space, because Sunday and Monday is like, that really is the weekend. And they've given us the weekend on this day and this day. And wait till we get here and you understand what Saturday actually is and what we do. Because it's just our culture. Then Wednesday is ruled by Mercury. And if you go look at these in any language, it's really cool, because they represent the same, and I say archons because that's what a lot of books call them, but they're the planets, they're the seven. And if they are traveling unconsciously through your life, they are taking energy. But when you are conscious of your life and your natal chart, your life path, you get to take the energy. They don't take it away from you anymore. So that's another part about just knowing your chart and knowing, like, oh, on Sundays, where is my sun? What would I do to like nurture the sun in my chart? For me, my sun's in detriment, they call it, because it's in Libra. So I would do maybe something more involving the solar plexus on Sunday, or something along the lines of like building confidence, or dancing and bringing joy to my world. But you can use all of these days to work with your own chart. to just pull it up every day and be like, all right, Mercury, Wednesday, where's Mercury in my chart? What story is Mercury telling? And where is Mercury today in my chart? Like, where is the transiting Mercury actually happening in my chart? Or you don't even have to look at your chart. Just think about communication. Is there an email or some communication that's, just felt stuck? And maybe on Wednesday, you're feeling like more ease, or you feel the words are coming. But that's not something you want to be doing on Monday. You don't want to take a hard conversation and try and do that on Monday when you should be nurturing yourself. Do you see how they get us out of our own kind of
Rhythm.
Yes.
Synchronicity.
Rhythm. Yes. Yes. This is the day we want to have lunches and meetings and more rendezvous with people. Maybe if we do a meeting on a Tuesday, it might be like a meeting with our lawyer, or something where we're kind of fired up to do something. But
Date
this
night.
is the day to really communicate.
Date night.
Yes, date night. Yes, yeah, good idea. Yeah, Tuesday, Mars Day. That's another good one, Bobby, because that's starting something new. Mars rules Aries, and Aries is the pioneer, stepping out, dividing maybe the path because they're choosing a course of action and they're going to go. And just by moving, they're separating. So, starting something new, going on a date. Yes, go ahead.
So, nice to be here on a date with everyone here. And how do those days, or how in the present day, in the here and now, that we're having this alignment that, like you said, is not going to be around for a really long time again. This alignment that, and how it reflects how does that reflect into the time and space of people in working with a chart? This alignment that's where, if you were born today, you found eternal life or whatever today, how do you integrate that into, how would you tell people to integrate that into their here and now? This alignment that's cosmologically.
That's a good question. There's a lot there in that question to unpack. If a baby was born today, I probably wouldn't look at their chart or talk to their mom or them about their chart. I would let them kind of be in that beautiful liminal entering into the sea, like they just yes, yeah. Plus the way the ancients looked at it, and well, this is a great topic for discussion too. I think we focus too much on the babies and not on the mommies. And in days of yore, it was the mother that was focused on. It was the mother that was sang to. It was the mother that was wept over because she was. The women that were attending the birth would leave the birth and go out in the woods and cry and wail for her because she would never be the same mother again. They would never meet that woman again. And then after the baby arrived safely, they would come back and they would applaud and sing to her and just be joyous for the baby because it was really the mother that was anew. The baby was just like evidence of the mother's renewal, but it was the mother that was celebrated. And even in birthdays, makes me quite sad to go to birthday parties with my little boys and the mom has no story, no place in the whole celebration. It's all about put the baby on display for and I think kids are overwhelmed by that too. But it's more, again, we're about the thing and not the story. And the mother holds the story. The mother holds your story and your story and your story. The mother holds us all. The mother is the right side of the brain that holds all the stories of everything and all dichotomies. So I'm glad you asked that question because I I'd like to encourage everyone when I do readings, and I don't always get there, but if you can find healing in your chart, in your story, and get to a place on your birthday where you write your mother a thank you letter. And it may mean that you don't have to send it, but it's tremendously healing, because ultimately what we have to do is reparent ourselves and remother ourselves. All of our mothers, all of our fathers were broken. It's by design. And we have to put the pieces back together. We have to give ourselves what was not given to us. We all picked our parents, and there's a reason we chose our parents, but they're not to blame. The more you can find value in your story, and I swear it just kind of comes in tandem that you have compassion for your mother. You have compassion for what she went through to bring you into this world. That right there is like unbelievable. And we still are like medicalizing it and not letting it be what it was, which is a powerful initiation, a DMT activation. I don't know if anybody knows about that, but there's so much psychologically that a woman goes through in childbirth. And no wonder they are so big on epidurals and getting them in the hospital, and midwifery is so poo-pooed and now controversial. Because they're trying to remove us from the story. And when they pump mother full of whatever they pump in the hospital, and I'm also not condemning anybody who's had hospital birth. I have too, and I'm glad that I did, because I know now I can totally say like it's really messed up what happens there. But the woman is full of Pitocin and mainly Pitocin, and it blocks the DMT, so they get no downloads, no psychoactive anything to help with the pain. So it all is a carnal birth. It's not a spiritual birth. Few women are allowed to have that. But what happens when you have a traumatic birth? You don't remember anything, and you don't remember when your baby was born. So it goes into the hospital, and they keep track of it. And you have to have that in order to even get a birth certificate, which is really interesting. So, but initially what was done prior to the medicalization of childbirth was women were sang to, and they were massaged, and they were loved, and they were brought a feast, and the baby never left the mama's body for 3 months. So babies would listen to the gurgling sounds of mama's digestive belly, and that would help baby's digestion. Babies could nurse on contact, and crying was akin to bleeding. If a baby was crying, it was essentially bleeding. I say that because I want to get back to where we embrace that as a community. Where there's a baby crying on an airplane, we don't give the mother dirty looks. We go and give her love and understanding and patience and ask, can I help you? Is there anything I could do? Like I carry homeopathics on the airplane with me because I cannot, it just does something to me. But back to your point, Gilbert, where do we start? We start with you first. You know your story first. You can easily get caught up in like the big story and what's going on in the world and the birth chart of today, and but where's this landing with you today on a Sunday? You know, and I didn't finish going through the other days. Just want to finish that real fast. That when we get to Thursday, this is ruled by Jupiter and 4. And typically when they release a new song, it's like, I think it's midnight on Thursday, so it's actually Friday. But when a new artist is releasing a song, it's usually between this and this, not here and here. It's just kind of interesting. And when you start to understand too the influences of these gods on the days, and you start to like watch the pattern unfolding in the world or in your life, it just like it's like I feel like Tesla has shared this thing with me. It's weird, but it's like the more that you understand and you're walking through the world, the more the universe can share things with you. It's like you're reading a book, but the book's reading you too. And the more you understand this, the more you're walking in it, and you're like, whoa! You get pieces, you get breadcrumbs, you get an understanding of your character in the story and how the story is just unfolding. And it's not scary; it's really freaking cool. you get a sense of play instead of the kind of carnal Saturnian, it's like somebody's aware of me, somebody's watching me, somebody's listening to my heart, and hearing my curiosity, hearing my questions and answering. Okay, back to Thursday. This is also the day that we spend the most amount of money. So this is not the day that you want to go grocery shopping, or go look for a new outfit, or go back to school shopping, or go out on a date even, or go out into town. Or you do, but just know you're more apt to spend more money. Friday is also ruled by the benefic Venus. So Friday is a good day for dates and loving things and being with the ones that we love, getting together after the week is over and talking about our week, going to an art show, doing something beautiful or that we find beauty in, going out in nature. This can also be a day that we spend a lot of money because it's Venus. Venus rules copper, and copper used to be valued very differently than it is now. But even just like I love to wear copper on Fridays. You can wear pink on Fridays. It's a Venus color. You can white, gray, and pink, I think, are the main Venus colors for Friday. But it's also a day of like self-love. So you don't have to go on a date with somebody. You can take yourself on a date. Go do what you love to do. Go nerd out. Be an artist, and an artist of your own time. And just do what you love. Go take yourself out to a movie, Saturday is the end of the week. This is the day that, ruled by Saturn. Saturn is lead. Saturn is kind of immovable. So this is the day to, it's about boundaries and about discipline. And discipline isn't like getting spankings, right? It's learning. It's doing new things. It's cleaning. So this day when we usually are out like running around, taking people to soccer practice or go to scrimmages and all that, just be aware that like your energy is really sacred on Saturday. You should not be out shopping and being in with the masses. This is more of a day to take back and have some discipline. Be in your own domicile. Be in your temple. Take a bath, meditation. It could be even like taking a class. But as far as like the kind of things that happen on Saturday nights, they're not always like really pleasant, right? I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but it's like, oh, big Saturday night, what are we doing? I can attest. A lot of crazy things happen on a Saturday night. Then you throw a full moon in to the mix. Just be aware. Saturday is a tricky day, and it's a day for you to build. It's not a day for you to be a servant to the system with your energy. Because I don't know if you know this, but like we off-gas this stuff called loosh when we're stressed, when we're angry, when we're scared. And it's
What is it called?
loosh. Loosh. Look it up.
Okay. How do I spell it?
Loosh. And it is yummy, yummy, yummy to lower density forms. And to the archons, super yummy. So that's another way you escape time and space, is not showing up on the matrix circuitry board. You stay in the lighter realm of emotions, and you're not fodder for the game. So even without knowing about your birth chart, just taking back your time, your days of the week that go into 4 weeks of the month and 12 months of the year. This is your time. The other thing is Sunday represents the gates of man. So this is Sunday represents Cancer season, because in Cancer season is when the sun and the moon are at their apex. The moon rules Cancer. The sun is at the Tropic of Cancer at the summer solstice. So Sunday also gives us this idea of the structure of the archons. So we come in actually through the gates of Saturn, which are the gates of the gods. They call Saturn the gates of the gods, and they call Cancer the gates of man. So typically we come in with a body, we come in with this preloaded thing that is going to teach us about discipline as we move through the seasons. Ideally, that's what we would do, is learn about our body and learn about life through our own growing in the seasons, right? But they've made it about, not about the story anymore. Different milestones and different things and different days, and not just a general unfolding day by day. But ultimately, if you are living more of a carnal life and more present in this heavy density, you are going to go out the gates of man, and you will come back through the gates of the gods again and be recycled. This is the way out, is through the gates of the gods. And this is why death is an illusion. Saturn holds the keys to time and space. And we have access to these keys, and that's a different story and a different lecture, and it's probably a lot longer than one lecture. But ultimately, the way out is the way in. You are the way out. It's all within you. You have all the answers. You don't need any books. You don't need any person. You need you. You need to live through the seasons. You need to live your story. You need to understand your story. This was it was like we were all given a game board. We were all given a character. We all have superpowers. All of us do. Like beautiful, incredible. And sometimes it doesn't, those superpowers don't come in easily. They come in with a lot of heartbreak and a lot of people walking away in our life, and a lot of choices that are not easy to make. So it's our character's not always forged right away. Sometimes it takes 40, 50, 60 years. But holy moly, you are powerful. You are infinite. You are timeless. And if you only know how to access your gifts through the seasons, time is an illusion. It's never running out. I have my circle here, but just remember the circle. And if you identify any point on the circle, okay, show me the beginning, show me the ending. Nope. It's all a story. It's all moving. It's never ending. We're spiraling in and we're spiraling out, but we never end. The choice is yours. And
So we're just passing through.
yes, yeah. I've heard that this is like the lowest of the heavenly realms and the highest of the hell realms. So we have like way more free choice. And the higher you go, the less choices you have. It's way more blissful, and you don't have as many like occurrences with people that are like, ugh. but you have less choices. You have to eat more like porridge, and you know, that's how I think of it. Like we have a lot of choices here, but we also interact and intersect with lower densities as a result. Yes.
Lynn, you're speaking about the days of the week, so I wonder if you've ever, or if there's any validity of the day of the week that your soul's journey starts,
Yes.
and then the day that it ends.
Yes.
So, for example, because I came in the earth on a Wednesday, right, and that's ruled by Mercury and then a double Gemini.
Yes.
But throughout my soul's lessons that I'm going to experience in this lifetime, you know, the exit day, I wonder if you exit on what your lesson has completed. You know, we're all going to go on a Monday through Saturday somewhere around there, right?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting, you know, studying somebody's chart the day they came in and the day they left.
Yes. And I've started doing that. I didn't know it was a thing, but it is a thing.
It is
Looking up death charts, and my niece was my first chart that I looked up, and she left on a Saturday, and she had very, very strong. So she left on a
And
Saturn.
Saturn is a home type thing. So some of the issues that perhaps she left with had to do with her home, you know, and where she was residing and all that. So very interesting, that correlation.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Death charts are so fascinating, so incredibly, and so healing to look at. Yes.
So, on my birth certificate, there's a time.
Yes.
So is that time put down there, like in my case, 5:15 a.m.? Is that when they cut the cord, or is that when the head shows, or?
When the whole baby comes out.
It's when the nurse remembers to
It's
look
a
at this
midwife
clock.
line here.
That's the right
Once the
answer.
whole thing comes out from the baby.
Well, Joan
So
has
when
the
the-
authority.
When the last toe leaves
Right.
the woman.
I guess so, yeah.
Somebody look at the clock, is that it?
Yes.
What if somebody said, oh, we didn't look at the clock?
Believe me.
Yeah. Only happens
A minute or two.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm wondering if, when you get in the flow and you've taken your time back, whether it makes a hill beans difference, what day it is, what time it is, where you are, you're just floating.
Yeah.
And yeah, she still arrived on time.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I always arrive on time, even when I left late, which amazes me. And I choose which day I'm gonna do what on, with joy and open acceptance of what's happening. So I've just noticed that, you know, I always look at my calendar because I don't wanna get too far out of here and miss something. But, it's just not, it's not even a pressure anymore. It's just something that's by me, not, pressuring me. It's just there.
Yeah.
And, I honor more my intuition.
Yes.
There are days when I stay home and I'm not sick, I'm not tired. I just felt like I needed to stay home.
Yeah.
And it never inconveniences anyone. Even when I had something planned and I call and say, I'm not doing that today, it doesn't seem to inconvenience people. So that's where I am.
Well, and yes, as you get more advanced in life and with your character development and your story, you graduate from the Saturnian realm and you start getting into Uranus. And Uranus was the lord of the universe. Remember that Saturn castrated his father, Uranus, and that what that symbolically represents is Saturn cut us off from eternity and put us within the bounds of space and time. Meanwhile, Uranus is still out there, still breaking the rules, still spinning cattywampus to all the other planets, and he's the revolutionary. And between usually like 38 to 48 you have your Uranus opposition, and it is a Kundalini awakening of sorts. It is like all the things that I've been doing in my life, I have to do differently all of a sudden for some reason. People leave their marriages, women and men start to swing in different ways, and Barbara Hand Cloud has written a book about this. It's fantastic. And they will return from whence they came, but they are changed beings. They're a little bit more rebellious, and they're going to do things differently if they survive it, because that's another one of the, there's a Saturn return around the age of 30, and can be a health crisis if you're playing the game of Saturn too intimately. And for others, they live on and they make it to their Uranus opposition, and that's when they leave this earth plane. But if you make it past your Uranus opposition, you have this wisdom and this, like, you've kind of played with the opposites a little bit. You've dabbled in the realms that you used to fear and that you get in trouble for. Something with Uranus just makes everything topsy-turvy, and you become a pilgrim and a pioneer in your own story. So you emerge from that a changed person. I'm really curious about it myself. I'm fascinated with people that have survived and or not survived. Judy Garland was one that did not survive her Uranus opposition. She, and you look at her story and what happened right before she passed. It's like, just, it's so the story of Uranus. Like, she was trying to do things differently, and she was doing things differently, but she was not given permission to see her children again. She never was returned to her children. She had to go over to England to go be in a show to make the money to have the permission to see her children. And anyway, it's another one of those things when you start to understand it in your own life. You see it in people you admire. You see it in your children. You see it in your grandchildren. You see it unravel. You see the patterning of time, and not the person so much, and like fitting into a mold. You see the story. You see the story unfolding through time, and how it breaks the mold. Because that's what it's meant to do. That's what we're meant to do. Yes. Sorry. Thanks for
I was curious if you had a one-liner or some statement that you might relate to this. Time is part of your presentation today, and one of my openers for people I haven't met yet, or say I'm in a line or something, is talking about, have you noticed how slow the time's going by today? Or I really say fast, but sometimes, and they say, oh man, it's going by so fast. Life is going by so fast. Oh, it's just crazy. And it typically is the answer that people give me, even my coworkers, whatever. And I was wondering, do you have a one-liner about any of that, or a feeling of anything about it?
Just might have to get back to you. I might have to get back to you with that.
Fast or slow time goes or whatever.
I've got a Pink Floyd song in my head.
It's okay.
The Money song, for some reason, is like playing in my head. Which I'll just speak to that really quickly, that our currency has been externalized, but your currency is well intact inside of you. I just want to remind you of that. It's been made into like a monetary thing, something you can hold, but all the while it's all within you. Everything you need, it's all within. And I do think we're coming back to we're returning back to that wisdom, but you're never going to hear that from a school or institution. We are the bringers of this. We are remembering, like putting ourselves back together, and then we go help others do the same. But it's all within us. We're built in the image of creation. That, and actually what we make as what we call waste is incredibly medicinal. We think that, like, I don't really want to say what we think. I'm just here to say, be ready to throw everything out and reimagine this world. We're right on the precipice. We all have the makings of this new world. We're in it right now, just by being together. But it's it was never meant to come through one person or through a government or any entity. It was because it's alive with us. We just have to remember and remind each other. Start living that. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We need more astrologers. We need more people that are astrologically minded to just walk in the world and remind other people, you are a spark of the divine. Yes.
I just felt called to say that, to reiterate what you're saying, but to not say never, because I still remember it was like 2019, and a very good friend of mine, I was working for the school district. I was the AA of a Title I school, and I was sitting there with a counselor, and we were talking, and I said, something's changing. And she goes, yeah, the paradigm's shifting, but we're never going to see it in our day. And I looked at her, and I said, you're wrong. It's coming. And whether you want to look at it in a time frame or whatever, but that change is happening so fast. But it is a call to us to stand still and be open and not closed when you don't feel comfortable about something. You have to remain open and say, bring it on, because I am the center of the storm, and I can handle it. Whether it's shitty or not, and it can be, but people like this, I was walking through a storm, and all of a sudden I get this message from Ann over here. We just became, I was like, holy. La, la, la. I was saying, holy, this is what it was. And I was standing underneath this gigantic devil's club that was bigger than me. And I'm going, we are connected. And this hurts, and this is hard, but it's happening. And we chose this time, and so we don't let each other forget that there is no never. It always is.
Some people call it the eternal now.
Yeah.
I know I like what you said just now. You're talking about us and realizing within us. A lot of current events in the world, people are arguing about, talking heads, Trump did this, Putin did that. I was just thinking, like, every one of those people on the ground holding a gun is the one. It's people's ignorance of the truth which causes them to listen to this shit. I don't know.
Can you repeat what he's saying, because we can't?
She was talking about it's us, it's within us, like realizing the truth, being a walking beam of light of the truth. Like, I don't know, it hit me because I was asking myself what I want to be when I grow up, and I was like, I want to learn how to help turn the light on in people. But in light of what's going on in the world, with the wars and stuff, people are getting charged, and everybody has an opinion and they're blaming the wrong people. It's the people on the ground that are listening to the BS, you know, so it just, I just really connected with what you said because it's like, how do we help each other to realize that we are the ones that are responsible for what we do, and it ain't nobody else's fault. I don't know, I just felt like I want to connect with your message more to learn a different way to talk with people. I don't know. It's just a synchronizing moment there. You know, it's just like people follow the orders of other people, which are probably contrary to what their heart's desire is.
Mm-hmm.
But how does one stand up in the face of the threat of death? Ultimately, that's the end. I don't know, I'm rambling now.
No, you're not. It's just a scary feeling. It really is. But the purpose is always coming back to our light and feeding our light because our light will feed others.
So part of it is not to feed the fear,
Right.
not to give it any energy at all.
Okay, well, notice when you feel fear. Just notice when you feel it.
Right.
And know that you're not centered.
There's
You're
a chemical
already-
imbalance.
Right. As soon as and that's kind of the game of Saturn is like, where can we insert a little bit of fear? Like, oh, you go check your mailbox and you owe something that you didn't think, and you get a little feeling, like all of that or somebody cuts you off in traffic, or even just, I mean, popping onto social media and you see something and it's like, oh, well, that could that be true? I don't like just remember that there's a big story. There's a big story, and your attention is so expensive. So be choosy about what you give your attention to. Like, you're handing out money with your attention, basically. So you want to hand out some money to this conversation or whatever is going on with, you know, family stuff. I'm not kidding. Our energy, our thoughts, our love, our life force is sacred. And if we don't take it back in our own time, it's harvested daily, hourly. So, I mean, it's
hard to detox from social engineering.
yes. Yeah. But, well, I've gotten really choosy with who I allow into my circle on social media. So, and I start to recognize, like, when I'm starting to get like, oh, that's kind of upsetting. Like, even if it's just, you know, not something I'm really paying attention to, but I'm like, I'm off. I'm not even gonna justify whatever I just read. Like, go look it up, research it. Nope. I just recognize the fear, and I'm like, I just got hijacked. I need to go get back in the story.
Simply say, perish the thought.
Yes.
You come up, you got a mental lingo going that drives you around emotionally, mentally, or physically.
But when
And
we're
if
talking
it's not
about,
in balance, just perish the thought.
yes, but on the note of perish, I don't think we've been given even like enough rituals to know how to compost and
Light a candle.
be done with something and release it. We hold on to so much. I think Ashiana Dean wrote in several of her books, like the main thing that's going to get us through what's happening, is our ability to grieve and release.
Forgive.
Our ability to hold space for somebody else and ask questions instead of like try and get an answer for them. Just try and keep, well, what about this? Well, what about this? Don't try and get them to an answer. Just give them questions to let the story unfold. And usually there's really no point. There's no like this at the end if they just have like space to speak. but also, I mean, we just don't, I don't know if anyone here has been to a funeral lately, but we are not well served in our rituals. Like, whether it's going to mourn somebody that's passed, or we're mourning a friendship or a relationship that is not in our life anymore, we have to get better at our grieving. We have to make that sacred, more so than the birth, because the death usually comes before the birth. That's just how life happens. Go out and take a walk in the woods and look at all the things that have prefaced the growing of a new tree, all the things that have died and perished and composted to make the perfect mycelium network for that tree to come up. We have to get better at understanding where we're emerging from. And there's a lot of piles of crap that we all, that's where the lotus flower comes from. So we have to be okay with talking about that stuff. The name of my business is called 8th House Alchemy. And I didn't realize, I love 8th House and I love Scorpio and all the things around Scorpio. I didn't realize how this would be a beacon to bring people into my life and do readings for, that we get into 8th house topics like I didn't know that we were going to. And I'm noticing in my work, I need to be better at helping guide people through grieving. Because it's not the tough stories, it's the composting of the stories. It's finding meaning and being like, okay, that is who I am. There was some part of me in that horrible thing that happened. And here, I'm going to move forward with the best part of it, and I'm going to alchemize it and make it into something beautiful that I can sing or tell the world, that I can show the world. We got to get better at doing that in our own lives and holding space for each other.
Question on grief, Lynn. Sometimes, I don't know if there's an unhealthiness to grieving too. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just simply cannot let go.
Yeah.
And, according to the karmic journey, we're getting to a place of detachment, of unattached. So when you simply, it's wonderful if somebody has made a perfect impression in your life, or you're a very important connection that you've had. But really, we only have 2 generations to even remember anybody. We're passing through, literally passing through. And so those that just simply cannot move past grief and allow it to, that's something to examine too, because that's a tough thing when, you're only dwelling on the passing of someone or something that you feel like you've lost.
Yes.
So that's a good healing experience of figuring out what it is that you feel is missing, that you've lost, instead of living, instead of, the attachment of whatever you were grieving, whether
Yes.
it's a job, a person, an animal, whatever it is.
Yeah. That's a good point. It's a really good point.
And remind me how to see that chart. I know you remind me, my mom never got over grieving. She literally killed herself with grief. The bottle helped, but that was there before the bottle.
It's amazing how you can burn karma. The whole country of India burns karma. If you ever go to India, you understand. They're socially engineered into burning karma. It's kind of different. But karma and memory are 2 different things. They're 2 different things that are similar. And moving through your karma, or being able to carry your karma, or to let go of it, as it comes up, to do it. The simple lighting a candle, lighting your own life force, taking your life force, taking it through any color of candle you want to use that you feel affinity to, and sit down and take a bath in that light. Take a shower in that light, or take a shower in the intentions of what's your concept of forgiveness and moving into a place of greater peace, harmony, and well-being just by lighting a candle. Call in, to ease memories, of social engineering or whatever it is, or to ease memory of supposed karma. Simply lighting a candle, do it in 30 seconds. You can burn up a whole lot of stuff in 30 seconds if you pay attention. You can really.
Well, rituals don't have to be very long.
They said you only have, I sat down there and chanted for hours, minutes, days, and hours. And the guru dude said, hey, you only have to say it once, right? And he was right. Yeah. You don't have to say it, really. You have to say it once, right?
Well, and even, I was at the psychedelic conference last weekend, and it was really, really interesting. I was just like, I need a grief counselor here. There's so many grieving people, and they're, I get it. They are so broken. They just want to escape. I didn't see very many healthy, balanced people. It was a lot of hurting people, and I want to tell them. I want to tell Arctic Visions, who put on this amazing conference, that next year there needs to be a topic for how we handle grief, because that, I think, is the root of most addictions, is pain that has no place. You can't talk about it. It feels too shameful, and therapy is not really effective because it makes you talk about it, and then you talk about it next week and next week. Whereas a lot of the therapies they were talking about allow you to kind of be like a midwife to your own pain, to just witness it once. You don't have to talk about it to anybody. But that right there, you holding space for your own trauma, to me, that's the birth chart. When I sit down and talk with someone and we get into some heavy stuff, we're in the world of symbology. We don't even have to talk about what exactly happened. I can say, wow, your son went over Pluto, when you were 6 years old. Who took you? Was there some sort of an altercation, or did you witness someone being taken? And that right there, I'm just talking about Hades. I don't know who uncle, father, mother, I don't know names, but that right there is enough to just open it up, and they're like, how did you know? But that's the work of this new world that we're getting into. We're leaving the word behind. We're getting more into this story. The wholeness, not whole, H-O-L-E. Whole is in W-H-O-L-E. The whole. Part of a whole, not a hole you look through that's missing something. But at least with the 8th house and with what I've witnessed working with alchemy, we do a lot of our most powerful work in relationship with another, but even more so powerfully when we take that within ourselves. And it's when we go into the bridegroom, the room of the bride and the groom come together. It's an internal, very personal process. And I can't recommend a better tool than the birth chart. And some people need a reading, some people don't to get started, but just start with where you started. Start with your own origination point. Start with something in your chart where you're, start with the days of the week and just go through and be like, where's my sun? Where's my moon? Where's my Mars? Where's my Mercury? Where's my Jupiter? Where's my Venus? And where's my Saturn? And then maybe apply, on Sundays, I'm going to do something with my son. Or, just, it's such a direct experience, science. It's not inert. There's so many books. I mean, I think there's more books written about astrology than any other topic in the world.
Of course, weight loss.
But look at how many books we have here in the room, walking through this world, living the science. You can tell it in your own words. If we can just start to look at each other like that and see the unfolding of time and the unfolding of the story, it's universal, but it's also individual. This is what Carl Jung talked about with becoming individuated. We're all part of one song and one story, but we all have our own tune. We all have our own instrument. We all have our own words. And we all fall into sequence. When we're really playing our true song, that symphony is amazing to walk into, right? Even, I mean, just walking into a room of people that are aware, and awareness to me is the same as love. God originally was a verb. It was a story. God was not a thing, a one thing that was separate then from this thing, and then over there, and that, no, it's all of it. It's all of it. And by getting, religion was a powerful tool to make the story into the thing. But remember, the original thing was the story, and the story was love.
That's what Anne's got going on. Transcendent the spheres.
Yes.
So there's a lot of reflections in the mirror. If everybody's got a mirror and you're looking at the big whole mirror, how can your individual reflection extend out into that whole mirror
Yes.
and still find its center and still be in the center and not be discombobulated by emotion, among other things.
Yes.
And be so far, way down at the bottom of the, he said we were at the bottom of heaven, right?
The top of hell.
Yeah, we're at the top of it.
It's Midgard. It's Midgard.
Exactly.
And there's an astrologer who talks about that too. That we're the intermediaries between heaven and hell. Earth, we are the same as Earth. Earth is the middle realm, and we are also the middle realm. So it's playing through Earth the way it's playing through us.
And
the story.
hold that reflection.
Yes.
And it's pretty mind blowing.
Take another breath.
I've stopped trying to figure it out.
Get out the Windex.
It's like I'm told what I need to be told when I need it to be told it. That's the way I flow. It's just, and so I was always worried about being real flighty and being judged as being who I am, and now
You're comfortable at home, you say?
I am comfortable right here, right here, and it gets stronger every day. Thank you, Lynn. That was just lovely.
One more question.
I just want to say that I missed it the first time around, though I wrote it down, and then it finally went whoosh, whoosh, bam. Okay, you got the one-liner. You gave it to me already. It's, you're talking to people who may not have, ascended. Whatever. I don't know how to finish that. Whatever. It's
going that way.
we control time, or you.
No, it's going that way.
And that's the one
Going to
liner,
the treasure.
and it would open up a
It's
lot
been
of
here
things
already.
right there.
This way.
Oh, that's all I have to
Gone
say.
that way.
Thank you.
Right there.
Very good.
Up to
That's one I
Randy.
did like that. Okay, thank you. Abby, did you have something that you wanted to say?
Yes. You know what I'm gonna ask you. And I promise I will make it so easy for you. I want you to teach us how to use astrology as a tool of inquiry in stuff that we'll write and podcast and these talks books and everything else. So before you leave, can you and I just have a little bit of, because just from the content that you've delivered to us, we can do, I bet, a dozen articles out of it. We can use AI to help with that. But this stuff, and you're asking how come we don't have more younger folks. It's because we need you teaching, and we need Josh Schmelda teaching, and we need Kristen and Betsy and all of these folks that we're gathering back in. But the more that we can have young people saying, this is something I'm doing and it's cool and it helps me live an easier life. Because I think they all think, yeah, you guys are old, you're retired, you got plenty of time to sit and meditate and become one with everything. And to me, the easiest way to do that can be with the right tools when you're raising kids and when you're working, because you've got so much interaction with all of our teachers that it's just such a beautiful thing. So,
well, and to your point, a radio show, something where you're interviewing people that are going to come speak, that would be ideal, because
you're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm not saying as a strategy. I'm saying I want to do that with you. I want to have a podcast with you, or just you. I mean, I don't need to be involved.
No, I would love that.
How about the weekly astrology?
Yeah, something like that. And other people can interview you or whatever. It doesn't need to be me, but it needs to be you as one of. We're going to have a whole family of amazing podcasts, and I want you to be part of.
Bobby's planning on creating some podcast.
That would be so good at that, Bobby. And well, just to your point, it is so needed. It's just needed because what is going on here is
You're
so
still not getting me. I'm
fantastic.
asking you on a date, and I'm hoping you will say yes.
It's not Thursday.
That may be the problem.
Already
Talk-
yes.
talk to-
Bobby.
I'll talk to you later in the week. Later in the week.
Blessings.
Lynn, haven't you said yes?
I did.
She
I
said
did.
yes, Bobby.
Gratefully and humbly and with honor.
Beautiful.
Yes, I would love to.
We have bread and coffee next door.